Hi guys, this is not Crash Course, but we're here to talk about supply and demand, and which is surprisingly very easy to understand. I'm Melly, and this is Lydia, and
Economics is about wasting your money.
The law of demand is the relationship between price and what the consumer wants. The consumer must be able to afford the want. The higher the price, the lower the demand, as consumers are not willing or cannot spend the capital to afford the product. However, there are certain exceptions, such as when the supply is high and the demand is high.
The law of supply is the relationship between price and supply. The higher the price, the higher the supply, and the lower the price, the lower the supply. There are exceptions to this. For example, a sale on winter jackets during the summer to clean out a warehouse of supply.
Supply and demand is the relationship of how demand affects supply and vice versa. If supply is high, then demand is low because the market is saturated. If demand is high and supply is low, then the market is not producing enough product to find an equal state between supply and demand.
Equilibrium is when supply and demand are equal to each other. This is the balance that most businesses strive to keep. It maximizes profits as the company does not struggle to keep up with producing items or oversaturating the market with their items as well. So how does this come into play in real life?
well, in order to understand that, let's watch a movie. In Marvel Civil War, there is an example of high supply and high demand, and that example is vibranium. And Wakanda is the only seller of vibranium on the market, meaning that they have a high supply of it because they are the main producers of the product. The demand is high because Wakanda closes it off. The real life scenario of the situation would be the guy who made AIDS medicine and ended up selling his medicine for like $200 a pill, because there's no real other AIDS medicine on the market that can treat that many symptoms for AIDS. If the supply and demand are both high as the market competitively wants it, then the price is either high to take advantage of the demand or low to sell more all at once. If there's another supplier, then the market tries to reach equilibrium. The other supplier, if they choose to sell it for less money than the original, then the original would have to lower theirs to compete on the market. If there are a lot of the same product on the market but many people want it, then eventually it'll increase or decrease based on situational circumstances.
An example of the supply being low and the demand being low is in the movie Matilda. Her father sells used cars that he tinkers with to change the mileage. Due to very few cars having an adjusted mileage, the demand would be low as everyone wants a new car. A real-life example is Shark Tank. If a product is new, then the supply and demand will both be low as it hasn't blossomed into the market yet. So the meaning of this is that if someone does not have enough product, the demand for it will be low until the supply and demand can reach a potential peak to create equilibrium. A lot of times, low supply and low demand only exist at the beginnings of the product because it has yet to flourish and want. The price would be low to sell as much product as they can while trying to produce enough supply to compensate.
An example of when supply is low and demand is high, we're gonna go back to Marvel, and we're gonna go to the movie that started it all, Iron Man. So, there is only one Iron Man, and that is Tony Stark. And on the market, he's the only one who would be able to make the suits. Throughout the entire franchise, people try to get blueprints, access, what have you, to the suit to sell them, to take them. Anyways, the supply of the Iron Man suits to the overall population is considerably really low when considering he's the only one who can make them. Meaning, the demand for it is super high because everyone wants to be Iron Man, but they can't. Sucks for them. A real life scenario of when supply is low and demand is high, we're gonna go look to Tesla. Tesla is a major car company. They came out with a new cheaper car but underestimated the demand for it. Because they underestimated the demand, customers have given their money but have not received any product. If there are no supply of a product on the market, then there's a high demand for it because it's considered exclusive, so the price for it as well is elevated. Meaning, if someone has one good thing that everybody else on the market wants, all of them are going to have to competitively pay for that one thing in order to reach equilibrium. If that certain thing becomes more accessible, the price will be lowered and the demand for it will even out as well.
So an example of the supply being high and the demand being low is in the movie Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. They had a surplus of sardines and no one wanted them, so they remained unbought, and the supply still remains high, besides the fact that nobody wants to eat sardines. During Halloween, fundraisers are not an option because the prices of the candies at our school are $1 when you can just go out and get candy for free. So the supply remains high while the demand remains low for our fundraisers here at school. In a real life sense, if there are a lot of one thing being sold on the market, people are less likely to want it because it lowers in value due to multiple sellers and multiple prices. And all the people would have to overcompensate and lower all the prices to compete on the market and reach equilibrium.
So, that was a journey.
If you still don't know what we talked about, watch this video again.
And, well, if you still don't know what happens after that, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, bye! Yay! What? Yay!
A few moments later.
Okay. Well.
It's a journey.